Here's your wrestling news for February 21st, 2026. Your headlines for today include Dashcam and Bodycam footage of Vince McMahon's 2025 crash revealed Vince caught cursing. Janel Grant publicly calls out Vince McMahon and WWE leadership over NDA fallout. Janel Grant details suicide attempt amid WWE NDA fallout. Yet another underwhelming and illogical SmackDown booking decision. SmackDown crowd turns on ex-champion for apologizing to Cody Rhodes. Is Jade Cargill to blame for her own downfall? Femi defeats Kit Wilson, set to face world champion next week. Io Sky pulled from Dream SmackDown match, and more. On July 24th, 2025, Vince McMahon was involved in a serious car accident that reportedly included 3 vehicles, one of them his Bentley Continental GT. Newly released body cam footage obtained by The Sun shows McMahon's vehicle traveling at a high speed before swerving and striking a guardrail. In the footage, McMahon can be heard criticizing himself immediately after the crash. "God damn it, stupid f***ing fool." According to the officer in the video, McMahon was allegedly driving over 100 miles per hour at the time of the incident. McMahon told authorities he was on his way to his granddaughter's birthday party and mentioned that he hadn't driven that particular vehicle in some time. He reportedly refused medical attention at the scene.
Ambulance?
No, I don't.
All right. Why were you driving over 100 miles an hour?
It's my granddaughter's birthday. I got to get this the next exit.
Right. Did you see me trying to catch up to you behind you?
I didn't see that. I saw lights, but it didn't look normal.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to you, and you keep taking off.
Oh, no. I'm not trying to outrun you.
I know. I understand that, but that's why I was very confused. All right, because it wasn't like you were running. It was just like you almost hit, I think, 115 miles an hour. All right, and then you just hit someone because you weren't paying attention. Were you looking at your phone?
No, I'm trying to drive. No, I'm not looking at my phone.
The person was right in front of you. There's got to be a reason you hit him.
No. I haven't been driving my car, and God knows how long.
All right. It was right in front of you. You went straight at it at 100 miles an hour. I'm just making sure you're not having a medical condition or anything. Do you need an ambulance?
No.
All right. Just your registration. Is your license in here?
No, it's in my pocket.
All right.
I haven't driven this car in quite some time.
It's fast, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, too fast.
Hey, Mr. McMahon, how you doing? Hi. I'm the investigating trooper. Okay. So, how you doing? I know who you are. Trooper Robbins that was following in the unmarked vehicle said you were doing over 100 miles an hour. All right, before you struck the vehicle. So, all right, so I'm going to be issuing you a misdemeanor summons for reckless driving, okay? So, it's just going to take me about 10 minutes to write it up. I'll give you a court date, probably within 3 weeks or a month. Do you reside in Connecticut? I'm not sure. Okay, so it'll be, where are we? Westport? Yeah. Right, so it'll be the court right here. I'll give you the...
McMahon later appeared in court in October 2025. The judge ruled that the reckless driving charge would be dropped after 1 year, provided he complies with the terms of accelerated pretrial rehabilitation. As part of the agreement, McMahon must donate $1,000 to charity and maintain lawful driving behavior during the probationary period. If he fulfills those conditions and avoids further legal trouble, the charge will be dismissed. The case marks another headline-making moment for the former WWE chairman, though legally, the matter now hinges on whether he remains compliant over the next year. Janel Grant returned to the public stage this week with an emotional and detailed statement about her lawsuit involving WWE and Vince McMahon, while also condemning the use of non-disclosure agreements in workplace misconduct cases. Speaking at a Capitol News briefing hosted by the Connecticut Alliance to End Sexual Violence, Grant reflected on the moment her identity became public in 2022 following a Wall Street Journal report. She said the exposure upended her life and severely impacted her mental health. The people and organizations that have supported me when I was the loneliest person on planet Earth, when my life got decimated in the Wall Street Journal, with them I would not be here, she said. Grant criticized how NDAs operate, calling them tools that shield misconduct rather than prevent it. This NDA was a tool that Vince could use to justify anything while I remained in a system of exploitation, and actually in a position for anyone to exploit me. Workplace safety depends on transparency because when employees cannot speak, patterns can't be seen. When patterns can't be seen, they can't be stopped. When they can't be stopped, harm spreads. When an NDA is used to conceal dangerous behavior, it simply relocates the harm to the next employee, the next office, the next victim. She also alleged that WWE sought a joint statement labeling her relationship with McMahon as consensual, something she refused. So someone, a group maybe, behind my back, without my knowledge, without my input, made that decision for me. It's consensual, we say so. Grant revealed that she was never interviewed during WWE's internal investigation and later received both a subpoena and whistleblower status from the SEC. In March of 2023, I got two things from the SEC. I got a subpoena and I got whistleblower status. A couple of days after that, Vince McMahon and Ari Emanuel suddenly appeared on CNBC to announce a deal of endeavor in WWE, so color me the most surprised person on planet Earth. Grant even referenced a 2024 WWE storyline that viewers felt mirrored her real-life situation. Grant did not directly name the storyline she was referencing, but many fans quickly drew comparisons on their own. In particular, viewers pointed to the Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio angle, which included a segment where Dominik received a text message that was strongly implied to contain explicit photos. He then showed his phone to fellow members of the Judgment Day, turning it into part of the ongoing storyline drama. In one of the most alarming moments, she disclosed that after being told to remain silent when the Wall Street Journal story broke, she nearly took her own life. So I blacked out and I ended up in a closet with a belt and a stool. Thank God somebody saw me and stopped it. But that is the life wreck and the mental health impact of this particular NDA. Despite everything, she said filing the lawsuit felt unavoidable. I knew what I would be about to throw my life into. I didn't start that. It's like it found me. To the board of TKO, if you didn't know this part of your origin story, now you do. All of you have some say in how my life turns out from here, including how quickly I may be able to move on and find help in healing. Are you surprised by these new details, especially WWE using real-life accusations in a storyline? Do you think Grant speaking publicly will bring meaningful change, or will this remain a behind-the-scenes battle? The opening match of SmackDown featured Ilya Dragunov going one-on-one with Tama Tonga, a direct follow-up to last week's 10-man tag team loss where Tonga and the MFTs got the better of Dragunov's team. The Mad Dragon came in looking for payback. Both men brought a physical edge, but in very different ways. Tonga leaned into his brawling style, throwing heavy shots and slowing the pace whenever he could. Dragunov countered with his usual intensity and versatility, mixing strikes, speed, and high-impact offense. The chemistry was there early, and the crowd stayed engaged as the two traded momentum. Unfortunately, the finish came with interference. Tonga Loa created a distraction at ringside, allowing Tonga to capitalize and hit his finisher for the pinfall victory. After the bell, Solo Sikoa attempted to cut a promo, but Dragunov immediately tried to attack him. That decision backfired. The MFTs swarmed him in a 5-on-1 assault, overwhelming the Mad Dragon in the middle of the ring. Matt Cardona and Apollo Crews rushed out to even the odds, but they were quickly taken out as well. That's when the arena lights shifted. Uncle Howdy appeared on the big screen in a pre-recorded segment alongside the rest of the Wyatt Six. Howdy directly called out Solo Sikoa for a one-on-one matchup, escalating the tension between the factions. The question now is whether Solo will answer it and when Uncle Howdy will decide to step out from behind the screen and into the ring. That said, once again, neither Howdy nor the Wyatt Six made an in-person appearance to confront the MFTs. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Last week during the Elimination Chamber qualifier, Sami Zayn failed to defeat Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu following interference from Drew McIntyre. That interference ultimately played directly into the finish as Rhodes capitalized on the chaos to pick up the win and secure his spot in the chamber. In a backstage segment on SmackDown this week, Cody Rhodes, after an underwhelming opening segment involving Fatu, approached Sami Zayn and asked if he was okay. Sami was clearly not okay and accused Rhodes of stabbing him in the back and taking advantage of the situation to win. Rhodes responded by saying that was only his perspective and that he simply took advantage of the opportunity. The exchange became heated, eventually leading to Rhodes walking away. After Trick Williams laughed in the background and mocked Zayn, telling him he would finish the job, unlike Sami, the former Intercontinental Champion confronted Cody and apologized, which drew boos from the crowd. Although it appeared to be a reconciliation of sorts, fans were unhappy to see Sami take the high road. Still, the sharp words exchanged, including Cody implying there's a reason Sami hasn't won the big one, are unlikely to be forgotten. It'll be interesting to see where WWE takes Sami Zayn's evolving character from here. Jade Cargill came to the ring full of confidence, boasting about a recent victory over Jordynne Grace and making it clear she sees herself at the top of the division. She then shifted her focus to Liv Morgan, stating that she'll be on Raw to hear Liv's WrestleMania decision in person. There's no denying Cargill's presence, the charisma is still there, the aura is still there. In many ways, she feels very similar to the versions fans first saw in AEW, polished, confident, and presented like a star. While she has maintained her character identity, the evolution hasn't been as noticeable. For someone who has now spent several years in the business, some fans expected more visible growth in pacing, promo depth, and in-ring fluidity. The foundation is strong, but the refinement still feels like a work in progress. Things became slightly awkward when Charlotte Flair made her entrance, the exchange between the two didn't fully click, and Cargill once again came off as slightly diminished in the moment rather than elevated by the interaction. Now the spotlight shifts to creative direction. WWE clearly views Cargill as a major player, but the way she's booked from here will determine whether she breaks through as a dominant long-term force or continues to feel like a star still searching for that defining leap. It'll be interesting to see how WWE structures her WrestleMania path. Does she rise to the moment, or does the learning curve continue under the brightest lights? The next bout on the card was another Elimination Chamber qualifier, this time featuring Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, and Kiana James battling for a spot inside the structure. Interestingly, all three women are aligned with tag partners on television, yet none of them had their teammate at ringside. That absence gave the match a more isolated, every woman for herself feel from the opening bell. Unlike many triple threat matches where one competitor rolls out to rest while the other two carry the action, this one kept all three women actively involved for most of the contest. The pace didn't stall much, and the constant movement helped maintain energy throughout. There were a few standout sequences, but the highlight came when James managed to lift Jax for a Samoan drop, a moment that drew a strong reaction. It was the kind of visual that reminded fans how capable James still is, especially considering how inconsistently she's been positioned in recent years. For once, she was given a true spotlight moment. Flair and James also connected on a Spanish fly that, while slow to set up, paid off once it landed cleanly. The delay was noticeable, but the execution itself looked solid. The finish delivered a genuine surprise. With Flair applying the figure 8 to Jax, James capitalized on the chaos and pinned Flair to steal the victory. It was an opportunistic ending that protected Jax while giving James a meaningful win. For a qualifier that could have easily felt routine, the unexpected outcome added intrigue, and it's refreshing to see Kiana James earn an opportunity inside the chamber. Now the question is whether she can turn that surprise entry into something bigger when the stakes rise inside the cage. After getting on Oba Femi's bad side last week, Kit Wilson found himself right back in the line of fire on Friday night. Before the bell, Wilson grabbed a microphone and claimed he had written a poem as an ode to the ruler. The first one was simple and surprisingly complimentary. Femi actually said he liked it and demanded another. That's where things fell apart. Wilson read an older poem that didn't land nearly as well. The tone shifted immediately, and Femi decided he'd heard enough. He dragged Wilson into the ring the hard way, turning what was supposed to be a match into a quick display of dominance. Femi steamrolled him with a handful of power moves before putting him away with his finisher. The bout was brief. In fact, the poetry segment lasted longer than the actual match. Later in the show, things took a more interesting turn. Femi crossed paths with The Miz in a backstage segment, setting up a match between the two for next week. That pairing instantly feels more significant. Miz brings veteran savvy and promo credibility, while Femi brings raw dominance. Next week should give a clearer indication of where WWE are heading with the ruler and whether this is the beginning of a more serious push. Another Elimination Chamber qualifier took center stage this week as Carmelo Hayes, Damian Priest, and Trick Williams battled for a coveted spot inside the structure. Given the deep history between Hayes and Williams, Priest naturally felt like an outsider in the dynamic. The crowd made their loyalties clear early, giving Trick a massive ovation the moment he made his entrance. At one point, Williams attempted to form a temporary alliance with Hayes, but Melo wanted no part of it. That hesitation opened the door for Priest, who leveled both men with a pair of clotheslines to kick the action into high gear. All three men had standout moments, but it was Williams who ultimately capitalized. He connected with the trick shot on Priest and secured the pinfall, punching his ticket to the Elimination Chamber. With momentum firmly on his side and the crowd behind him, Trick Williams now heads into the chamber with real buzz. Io Sky was originally advertised as Julia's opponent for the night, but WWE quietly changed the bout to feature Rhea Ripley instead. No explanation was given on air, and with no reports of an injury to Sky, it raises the possibility that WWE is saving Sky vs. Julia for a bigger stage down the line. The replacement match delivered. Ripley and Julia worked a physical, competitive contest that showcased Julia's striking and Ripley's power game. The pacing was strong, and the crowd stayed engaged throughout. However, the finish shifted the tone. Nia Jax and Lash Legend suddenly appeared and attacked Ripley, forcing an abrupt stoppage. That brought Sky sprinting to the ring to even the odds, clearing out the attackers and standing tall. While the post-match chaos advanced multiple storylines, it created a strange visual. Julia essentially disappeared from the spotlight once Jax arrived, which undercut some of the momentum she had built during the match. For someone WWE is positioning as a major player, fading into the background at the climax felt odd. The decision to pivot opponents may make some sense long-term, especially if WWE wants Sky vs. Julia to feel like a premium singles showdown, but the execution of the finish left the segment feeling slightly disjointed. Now the question is whether this was strategic long-term booking or simply an overcomplicated way to protect multiple players at once. After getting into an argument backstage, Randy Orton and Aleister Black ended up in the main event of this week's show. This was a good match, and in the final stages, the Viper hit a DDT on the floor, but while the ref was looking away, Drew McIntyre showed up and nailed Orton with the WWE title. Cody Rhodes chased McIntyre out of the arena, but the damage was done. One Black Mass kick was enough to put Orton down for the 3 count. A major win for Black, and with McIntyre joining the scene, it'll be interesting to see how WWE books this feud. On this week's SmackDown, WWE fans made their feelings clear during a backstage moment involving Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes. After Rhodes approached Zayn and asked if he was okay following a heated exchange, Zayn eventually apologized to him. Instead of cheers, the live audience responded with boos once Zayn offered his apology. The reaction highlighted a shift in crowd sentiment, as many viewers were unhappy with the reconciliation between the two stars rather than seeing more tension or conflict. The moment has sparked discussion among fans about how Rhodes is perceived and which rivalries should continue as WWE builds towards major upcoming events. With Chelsea Green still sidelined due to injury, Alba Fire wheeled her down to ringside so she could watch her match against Tiffany Stratton up close. The visual alone added personality to the segment, with Green reacting dramatically from her chair throughout the contest. It kept her presence felt, even if she wasn't physically competing. As for the match itself, the outcome felt fairly predictable. Stratton entered as the clear favorite, Fire got some offense in, but the direction seemed obvious from the opening bell. Stratton eventually connected with the prettiest moonsault ever, securing the pinfall victory, much to Green's visible frustration at ringside. While the result didn't surprise anyone, keeping Green involved on television despite her injury is a smart move. She's one of the more entertaining personalities on the roster, and her reactions alone can elevate a segment. Even from a wheelchair, she adds value to whichever storyline she's attached to. The real question now is how long WWE continues to integrate her into angles before she's cleared, and whether this setback ends up strengthening her character once she's back in the ring. And finally, the mystery crate didn't get opened on SmackDown after all. Instead, it was officially sent back to Monday Night Raw, keeping the suspense alive and pushing the payoff to next week. What did you think of SmackDown this week? Which segment stood out to you the most, and was it for the right reasons? Sound off in the comments below.